LeBron has zero help on the Lakers. The refs are trying to take control over NBA games, the Memphis Grizzlies would probably lose to a 6th grade team because they're so bad, and James Harden has ruined the Los Angeles Clippers team. Welcome to what you missed in the NBA this week. Refs have made bad calls throughout the history of the NBA, but what I saw against the Bucks this week was some of the worst reffing I've ever seen. Giannis drove in and had a monster dunk on Isaiah Stewart, told him he's too little and stared at him for half a second, and then he got a technical foul. This was Giannis' second tech of the game, which means he was going to be ejected. He's being ejected for looking at a man that he absolutely just posterized. What is this ref doing? He is trying to make the NBA not fun anymore. And Giannis was not having any of it. Sitting down courtside next to this fan who probably just peaked. He will not have another moment that is better than this in his whole life. But Giannis was not happy, and this just fueled his rage for the next game that the Bucks had against the Pacers, in which Giannis would go crazy and have 54 points, scoring basically whenever he wanted, but having two major mistakes at the end of the game in clutch time that kind of sealed the loss for Milwaukee. You really can't blame Giannis for this though, because he was the only player really keeping the Bucks in the game. And the Bucks overall are just seeming a little bit sloppy to start the year. They're 5-3 and their defense has been atrocious, especially against the Pacers here. Brook Lopez was getting trapped non-stop, and I think I could even blow by Brook Lopez. He is so slow laterally. And Malik Beasley even fell for Tyrese Halliburton, pointing at the floor like a screen was going to be set, but nobody was there, and then he just froze and got blown by. Not to mention, Chris Middleton has been on a minutes restriction this season, and also Damian Lillard was not playing against the Pacers, so the Bucks just have not been super cohesive, and they still are figuring things out. And another team that's doing the same thing is the Lakers. They lost to the Rockets by 30 points, even after Dillon Brooks was talking trash, saying that he's ready to lock LeBron up, which he kinda did. Brooks was staring at LeBron so hard it looked like he was looking at a 4-course meal, and he didn't shut him down entirely because LeBron had 18 points, but he definitely did not play great. LeBron had a negative 24 box score, and the Lakers' real problems were starting to show against the Rockets. Absolutely nobody can hit a shot on the Lakers right now except for LeBron, and I'm not even counting AD because he's already getting hurt having hip spasms when there's not even 10 games being played in the season yet. Gabe Vincent, who went on a scorching hot Miami Heat playoff run, cannot hit a single shot and is riding the bench. Austin Reeves is now sitting on the bench, and Cam Reddish is starting because Austin Reeves shot 1 for 12 in the game against the Kings, and he didn't play a single minute of overtime, in which the Lakers lost, by the way. But this move actually worked for the Lakers. Cam Reddish hit the game-sealing 3 against the Suns, and then LeBron called out all of NBA Twitter when he said this.
Naysayers and basketball savants that don't know nothing about basketball and telling me I should have shot that shot in Miami instead of passing to Cam Reddish. Well, I did the same thing tonight because I trust my teammates, and I make the right play every single time.
What Bron's saying is that he's just going to keep passing, and I mean, he's going to keep scoring too. Like, it looks like he has not slowed down at all in year 21. And ever since Darvin Ham came out and said that LeBron was going to be on a minutes restriction, LeBron has played massive minutes every single game. In his recent games, he's played 35, 39, 33, 42, 35, 37, 27, and 36 minutes in those games. LeBron is moving like this at 40, like your favorite player is doing in his prime. And LeBron is still averaging 25 points per game, having the best longevity that we'll probably ever see in the NBA ever. And longevity is something that I hope that young players see too, but unfortunately a few got injured recently this week. Cam Thomas has been hooping. He's finally got an opportunity with no more Kyrie, KD, or Harden on the roster, and he's shown an insane scoring ability. He knows how to get the ball in the bucket, but something that he's not too familiar with is getting the ball in other people's hands. He really just takes these contested shots, and it looks a little bit sloppy sometimes. But hey, how can you complain? He's averaging 27 and dropped 45 on Milwaukee. But he's gotten injured during the Clippers game this week and now has a sprained ankle, out for at least 2 weeks. And unfortunately, another young player that's got hurt is Tyler Hero, who also was cooking in the regular season so far this year. He was outscoring Jimmy Butler regularly, and he was really in the conversation as being the best player on the Heat. He's averaging 23 points per game and shooting 41% from 3, but he's gotten injured with a sprained ankle as well, and his might be a little worse than Cam Thomas's actually. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. But something even worse is that Robert Williams is out for the season. He's having season-ending surgery on his knee, and he won't be back until next year. When you watch the video of his injury, it just looks like a normal play. This was really unlucky for the Blazers, and you really have to wonder if there was pre-existing issues that the Celtics knew about before he got traded to the Blazers. He's torn his meniscus in his other knee in the past too, so there could just be some problems with his body there. Prayers up to Robert. I hope that he recovers quick and gets back out there. He's really a force. But speaking of recovery, the Dallas Mavericks have completely recovered from their mess of a season last year after they traded for Kyrie, and they are now 7-2 to start the season. Luka is a star. He put up 42 points in 33 minutes against the Clippers and leads the NBA in points per game with 32.9. Not to mention having almost 9 boards and over 8 assists on the season per game too. The MVP case for Luka is so real this year. His team just has to keep on winning and hope that the Nuggets lose a little bit so they might slide into that #1 spot so he can be the best player on the best team. But Luka's not the only man that's on this Mavericks team cooking. Derek Lively, the rookie center, has been huge for them. He's been a much needed big that they haven't had in the past, and his rebound and close shot making ability early on has been really great for them. Just like Grant Williams has been too. He's been huge for them, shooting almost 52% from 3. Sheesh. His offensive boost has been fantastic, and he's performing the best that he's been in his career. He gives them a real third option and is taking on the hardest defensive assignment every single night. He's bringing that toughness to the Mavs, and that's what they lacked last year. And oh yeah, you also have Kyrie Irving, one of the best offensive players to ever live. He's fitting in perfect as the second option, scoring around 21 per game and 7 assists per game as well. It really looks like Kyrie's fitting in well with the second in charge role, kind of like he was in Cleveland when LeBron was the #1. And the Mavs are a championship contender, exceeding my expectations for this year, and the Nuggets need to watch out. But the Nuggets are good. They are 8-1, and they are seemingly unbeatable with Jokic at the helm. He is by far the best player on this planet while treating the NBA like a dead-end job that he has to show up to. Denver's team is virtually unchanged, and nothing is changing in their winning ability too. Michael Porter Jr. is still draining those contested threes. Jokic is putting up a triple-double almost every game, and it looks like a Mavs-Nuggets Western Conference Finals might happen, which would be so entertaining and a huge refresher in basketball. It would feature 2 of the top MVP choices, and I really would love to see Luka make it to the finals. And looking over towards the East, the Sixers were getting really no attention because the Celtics and Bucks were just getting talked about, but they are on a hot start. It looks like the Sixers won the Harden trade by a mile. The Clippers have lost their last 3 games, and they're struggling to find out who they are with Harden on the team. While taking a trip over to the city of brotherly love in Philly, the Sixers are 7-1, the best team in the East with the reigning MVP Joel Embiid, with Tyrese Maxey too, who's been an all-star this season, and I think he's going to make that roster. And even Kelly Oubre has been out of his mind hooping. He's been hitting 3 after 3, shooting the best 3-point percentage of his whole career, which puts them at the top of the standings, which we can see here, which has some things that we did not expect. The Pacers are 6-3, the Hawks are 5-3, and the Cavaliers are 3-5. I thought that the Cavs would be better, to be honest. In the West, it's no surprise that the Nuggets are 8-1, but you look at the Timberwolves, who are 6-2, performing better than the Warriors, the Thunder, the Kings, the Lakers, and the Suns. The Rockets, led by Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, are 5-3, having a winning record for the first time it seems like since Harden left. And as I mentioned before, the Clippers suck, but not worse than the Grizzlies, who are 1-8. They look lost and pathetic without Ja Morant and Steven Adams, and I'm making a video on them soon, so stay tuned. And that is all that I have for you guys. Until next time, peace.